Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another cooking vlog. In this video I will be taking you along. This is a cooking vlog. I'll be making three delicious Nigerian soup. Okay, if you're new to Nigerian cuisine, you're welcome to enjoy the vlog, and if you do have any question while you're watching, you can ask me in the comment section. So the three soups that I'll be making today is egusi soup, ogbono soup. Ogbono soup is the slimy one, yes, and vegetable soup. So these are the three soups that I'll be making today, and I will take you along. This video was supposed to be our Thanksgiving cooking vlog, but in the middle of the vlog I abandoned the whole Thanksgiving vlog and just focused on the soup. So I'm bulk cooking for the family, so I hope that it gives you inspiration to bulk cook if you have a family. This is a great way to save money on food, especially during these hard economic times. Eating out is very expensive, so you bulk cook to last your family for a much longer period. Remember, if you're watching this video, if you're new to my channel and you haven't subscribed, if you're enjoying this vlog, remember to support your girl by subscribing to my channel, giving this video a thumbs up, and sharing my video with your family and friends on your other social media platform. Thank you so much in advance.
Alright guys, don't mind my hair. I have my meat cleaned. I'm gonna show you guys all the meat. This is beef. I washed, I cleaned it already, so it's ready to go. On this one I have cow foot. Okay, there's water here. Also cleaned and ready to go. And the last meat, oh, I have, this is turkey wings and some thighs all cut up, but the butcher didn't do a good job. They call it too small, some of them too small, some of them medium. And also I have hard chicken, so this has all been cleaned. See, this one is not bad, but you see some that are not so well cut. I told them medium cut, but they just did a bad job. Anyways, I'm going to season it. I'm going to season all the meats now. Always salt, this is our cow foot. Right, you can see cow foot. I have onion, chopped onions. I'll just throw it like that. I like to leave it this way because the meat is going to take a long time to cook. Obviously turkey takes a long time to cook. This is cow food, it takes a long time to cook, so I'm just going to leave it like this. By the time it's done cooking, all this will melt, you know. So this is for this is for that. Let's turn that on. Actually, let me season this one. Beef seasoning cubes. Just using 2 beef seasoning cubes. I don't add a lot in my beef, and I don't think I said I'm using the beef for soup. I'll be making about 2 or 3 types of soup. I will carry all of you guys along. Now let's cook. We have our beef. Not much in the beef because I will add a lot of other ingredients, but we're going to turn it on and let it cook too.
I'll be using kale. It's mostly kale that I'll be using for the soup I'm making today, especially for the egusi soup. I'm using fresh kale. I will also use some fresh kale for the ogbono soup. Ogbono soup is the slimy soup, and I will use frozen vegetable for the vegetable soup. So my daughter is just helping me here to prepare the vegetable, wash it, and then I'll slice it later on in the video. In case if you're new to African cuisine, especially Nigerian cuisine, our food is not fast food, not at all. It takes hours to cook our food because you have to basically prepare everything from scratch. The meat, the vegetable, and almost all the ingredients you need to prepare from scratch. So it takes time to cook our food, but it's worth the time. It's worth the investment of time because it tastes delicious. There's nothing beat home cooked food, especially the one you invest time and energy and love to cook it. Okay, you need to add love. It's the best ingredient when you're cooking. Yes, so I'm just preparing some of the ingredients that I will use to start um, the base for my egusi soup and for the vegetable soup. So this is onion and red bell pepper. I will always prefer shepherd peppers to red bell pepper, but when it's not available, just use red bell pepper. It is perfectly fine. So there are multiple ways of making lumpy egusi soup. I don't think I mentioned it before, but I'm making the lumpy egusi soup. There are multiple ways of making lumpy egusi soup. This is just one of the ways.
Using red oil, palm oil. Just watch my food.
It looks like
So once the vegetable, onion and red bell pepper is fried enough, once the oil starts floating on top, the water, the liquid has dried and the oil starts floating on top, it's time to season. This is how I cook mine. So what I'm adding is called Ogiri. That's the native language in my region of Nigeria. Other part they call it Iru, but this is the dry Iru. And I'm adding crayfish. Nigerian food uses a lot of crayfish, especially our soup. So I will season this base very well. I will also add some seasoning cubes. It might look like it's a lot of seasoning cubes that I'm adding, but remember this is a big pot of soup and it's two different soups that I'm making. I will even add more seasoning because it's vegetable. For the vegetable soup, because it's a lot of vegetables, it requires a lot more seasoning. So that's all I'm adding here. And then I'll divide this into two. Half of it for the egusi soup and the other half will be for the vegetable soup. You're going to see all of that coming up in the next clip. So this is a goosey. It's called melon seed. It's actually pumpkin seed, but it's a different species of pumpkin than what uh, what is here in North America. It's This is very popular in Nigeria. It's a popular soup in Nigeria. All these three soups that I'm making, they are very, very popular in Nigeria. There's nobody that have not eaten it. It's when you ask about Nigerian soup, this is gonna be one of the top Nigerian soups that you will hear, or you have seen, or you have heard about. Yeah, but this is the egusi soup. This is the egusi, the melon seed itself. There's a problem with this. I like to buy the whole egusi instead of the blended one because you need to pick it. They don't do a very good job with picking it. And this one is the ogbono soup. This is like a seed. Yeah, the ogbono is the seed. You blend it. So I like to pick my egusi and then I wash it. That's the good thing about buying it whole. You wash it and then you blend it. If you want to blend it a powdered form, then you don't need to wash it. But because I'll be blending it in into a paste, that's why I like to buy it whole so I can wash it, pick out all the bad ones. Because if you don't pick out the bad ones, it will change the taste of your soup. It's not going to spoil it completely, but it will alter the taste of your soup, especially if you're used to the egusi soup. If you're not used to it, then you might not even notice if the taste is different. Yeah, but if you already know the taste of egusi soup, our original ingredients, when the taste is altered, you will know. Yeah, and you're not going to enjoy it if you already know the original taste. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm just blending it with my blender into a paste. Like I said, if you want it in powdered form, if you don't have a strong blender, then blend it in powdered form. In that case, don't wash it. Just pick your goosey and don't wash it. Use your blender, your dry blender, to blend it into a powdered form. Most of the time, well, it depends on me. Whichever way I want to go, I can blend it in this way, and you see how it comes out. This is how you want it to be. You don't want it to be, well, I don't like it being too watery because I won't be able to get the consistency of the lumpy goosey consistency that I like in my soup. Yeah, but do whatever you like, however you like to make your own egusi. This is just my own style.
I'm gonna add a little bit of water so it doesn't burn.
All right, now while the egusi is cooking, you need to give it time to cook. Don't disturb the egusi, otherwise you're not going to get lumpy egusi. So while that is cooking, I'm going to start building the base for the vegetable soup. I'm just transferring some of the meat into this big pot. So I divided the meat into three, one half, one part for the
Cover
egusi,
this
one
one.
part for the vegetable soup,
I'll let
another
it
part
boil
for the ogbono
while we
soup. So
prepare the
as this is
vegetables.
cooking, I'm going ahead to chop up the vegetable. I like to use leafy green vegetable for my egusi. You can use bitter leaf, but we don't have bitter leaf that you're going to find here in North America or outside of Nigeria. Is going to be mainly dried bitter leaf. I like to use bitter leaf, but I always will prefer kale or collard green for my egusi. It resembles ogo in Nigeria. Yes, but this is very delicious. I'm telling you, egusi soup, all Nigerian soup is delicious. All Nigerian meals are delicious. Hello, all Nigerian meals are super delicious because we not only cook it a lot of ingredients, but we cook it with love. So the egusi is ready. If you break it and it's not all white, then it means it's not ready. You have to add water and you need to cook it on a low heat so that it doesn't burn. You don't want the egusi to burn or the ingredient under the egusi to burn. So you can now break it however you want. If you want it to be more chunky, break it chunky. If you want it to be finely chunky, break it however consistency you like, you break it. But remember, when as you're turning the soup, as you're stirring the soup and adding like meat, it will also break the egusi a little bit. So don't break it too much. But this is how I like to leave it. I like to see that chunkiness in my egusi. So I'm adding back the meat, and the rest of the seasoning will come. Yeah, I'll add the rest of the seasoning, and basically at this point, once you add the meat, you add the vegetable, your soup is completely done because all the ingredients is cooked at this point. If you haven't tried Nigerian soup, maybe you should go to a Nigerian restaurant and order for egusi soup. Now, because Nigeria is a big country with multiple cultures, everybody does the egusi differently. Yoruba style is different from Igbo style. This is Igbo style egusi soup. It doesn't have too much red pepper, neither does it have um, too much spiciness. It's not too spicy. Yeah, it doesn't have too much hot pepper in it. Yoruba style egusi or Yoruba style soups is very heavy on hot pepper. So Igbo is different from that. So these are the frozen vegetable that I'll be using for my vegetable soup. I thought my video was recording, but unfortunately it wasn't recording. Yeah, but the vegetables that I'm using, they are all frozen. I'm using kale, frozen kale. I'm using rapini. Rapini is a little bit bitter. If you know, um, I can't remember the name. It's a little bit bitter. And also I'm using frozen spinach. So those are the three. You thaw it a little bit with hot water. Just run a little bit of water to remove a lot of the liquid so that your soup is not going to be too watery. But back to the egusi. Our egusi is almost done. I'm just adding some of the vegetable that I cut earlier on in the video. You just let it cook basically for like until this thing cooks a little bit, until the vegetable cooks a little bit, maybe like 5 minutes. Yeah, it looks like it's a lot of vegetable. Trust me, I added more because this is fresh vegetable. It cooks down quite much. As you can see, look, I even added more and it cooked down this much. So at this point, look at our delicious egusi. It is done. It is done. If you are watching and you've watched up to this point, I know we're coming to the end and you haven't subscribed. I want to ask you, why haven't you subscribed already? It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe to my channel. It only gives you access to my video, upcoming and old videos, so that, and also remember to turn on your post notification, that way you'll be notified once I post a new video. Alright, back to our soup. This is our vegetable soup. As you can see, it is a big pot of soup. Like, this is going to last us quite a while. I'm not going to be making soup for quite some time, and that makes me very, very happy. But our soup is looking ready. I've added all the seasoning. I'm just going to taste it again to make sure that the seasoning is good. And it was good. It was perfectly fine. So that is out of the way. Now we're going to focus on our ogbono soup. I added some grilled mackerel. Yeah, so that's what you see there. I'm adding some uziza seed. You need uziza in your ogbono soup. Either the uziza seed or the uziza leaf, but in this case I'm using both. I'm using the uziza seed and I'm using uziza leaf as well as bitter leaf. So uziza seed, the uziza leaf and the bitter leaf, they were all frozen. They were all dried, and then I rehydrated it, and I'm just adding salt. Make sure that all the seasoning are on point, and then we turn back to the ogbono. This is how you make your ogbono. This is how I make my ogbono. This is red oil in the pot, and I added iru, dried iru, or what we call ogiri. Okay, in my language, in Igbo language, this is ogiri. You need it for your ogbono soup. Okay, don't skip that part. So you melt it in hot oil. You don't want boiling oil. You just want it to be hot enough, because it's red oil. It gets hot very quickly. It burns quickly. So you just melt it. Make sure it doesn't have lumps, because you don't want to be eating your nice ogbono soup and you're biting into eru. Eru is, it has pungent odor. Okay, and once that is melted, we add our blended ogbono. You want to make sure that the ogbono is, it doesn't have any lump. You break all the lumps so that when you add it back into the pot of boiling ingredients, you're not going to get a lot of lumps. Okay, just make sure that that is all melted, and then we will transfer it and add it into the pot over there where the meat and all the other ingredients are cooking. Okay. Just look at that bubbling ogbono soup, huh? Oh my goodness, this house was smelling so good with so much deliciousness, I'm telling you. But I'm just adding the final ingredients, which is kale, fresh kale. It is optional. Some people don't add vegetable to the ogbono soup. Once you add this, you just want to let it cook for maybe a minute or two, just for the vegetable to cook. You don't want to cook your ogbono so much, because it might lose its sliminess. If you like very slimy ogbono, cook it on the low heat and just let your vegetable cook if you're adding vegetable. But I want to thank you so much if you have watched up to this point. Thank you for staying with me for this much, for this long. Okay, leave your comment in the comment section for me if you have any question. Remember, you haven't subscribed. This is an opportunity for you to subscribe to my channel. Until I come your way in another awesome video, stay safe and remain blessed. Bye bye.